G'day guys, welcome to Masterclass number something. I filmed a couple of these and I sort of lost track of whereabouts these fit. But I think this ended up being Masterclass 8, if I put this one ahead of some others. But I've come down to go through a bit of kind of like a skills test or a skills challenge, so to speak, just to sort of suss out where I'm at, where I can sort of improve on a bit more intentionally with some of my skills. So I'll be able to explain that a little bit more as I start to go through. But I just wanted to tell you guys, I've just realized as I was micing myself up that I've forgotten to put a shirt on. So as I was leaving home, I put my jumper on, but I haven't put a shirt on underneath. So this could be very interesting when I start bowling and start getting hot. It's only 10 degrees in the Netherlands. At least it's a nice sunny day, but I genuinely think I may end up bowling topless, which is just the most awful flex, and it's completely unintentional, even though no one's going to believe that. But I can't believe I've done this. So wherever you are in the world right now, I don't know if you've ever accidentally put a jumper on without putting a shirt on, but that's what I've done. So moving on from that, what I'm going to do today is bowl a couple of overs over the wicket at a right-hander and a left-hander, testing out some skills, so maybe an over of each or two. Around the wicket to a left-hander, I'm not going to bowl to a right-hander around the wicket, and sort of like testing my outswing, testing my in-swing, maybe testing some Yorkers and stuff along the way, maybe a bouncer or two, and yeah, I'll be using the full track to sort of go with that. I've got the Focus cricket balls here. Mark's been very kind to give me a box to be able to use back in Australia. I'm still currently in the Netherlands, but I brought a couple of boxes over with me, and they've been just wonderful. These ones are very similar to a kookaburra, which is quite nice because as a fast bowling coach, I'm sure you'd know if you are a fast bowling coach or if you do work within clubs, balls are an absolute fucking killer. You know, and cookers cost about 90 bucks a pop. These are about 30. So value for money, they're fantastic because it's quite difficult to get, you know, a quality cricket ball, but one that's also kind of cost effective. Because even buying the like mid-range kookaburras is still twice as expensive as this. So I'm a big fan of them. I really like what Mark's doing down at Focused. And so that's a quick sort of shout out to say if you do need some cricket balls, these are fast bowler approved. let's put it that way. So let's set up my full track, which is just going to be so handy to doing this. One of the things I've enjoyed the most about having access to the full track is that it's so simple to set up, which if you guys ever do a trial, you'll see that for yourself. But to actually have some ball tracking and see where the ball's going, it saves me having to try to do it myself. So I've done a bit of a warm up, nothing too super intense. I haven't really set out a run up. It's kind of interesting here being indoors. So that's something I'm gonna feel my way through. You might say this damn tag is pissing me off. This is, oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, so something I'm gonna feel my way through, and let's see how we go. So I'll probably try to call out the balls as I'm going, but I think one of the things I also wanted to discuss was which I did with Curtin, which was funny because I think that'll end up being a session I'm going to post, a masterclass I'm going to post later on. But I took him through my like mental skills delivery routine, and I've got an infographic of this, so I'll put it up somewhere on this video sort of thing. But essentially, it's kind of going through your routine each ball. So you've got at the start, you've kind of got your planning, you've got your process, right? This is where you're going to put some thought into what ball you want to bowl and what cue you're going to use to sort of bowl that ball. So you want to have something quite simple, just fixing up my hair here, which someone will laugh at. But you want to keep it quite simple because if you do sort of complicate it, well, we all know how difficult it is to try to execute a skill and a tactical outcome when you're overcomplicating it. So this is where I'm going to put a cue in to try to get the action that I'm after. All right, so the action you can think of as the bowling sequence is not something I can sort of, you know, control. I can use a cue to hopefully get it as good as I could, but I'm not like a movement magician who can just somehow pick out certain movements and just automatically do them like that. For humans, that's not possible. I also can't control the outcome. There's no batsman down there, but we can hypothesize a couple of shots. But I'm going to try to learn from the outcome. So one of the biggest things you can do as a fast bowler to control your emotions is be conscious that you can't control the outcome, and no matter what happens, you can try to learn from it. You can either react emotionally which is I don't suggest. Or you can sit back and go, okay, that ball was too full, nice length, was half volley, got driven, 4 runs. Let's bring the length back. So then you can take that back to your planning and then go, all right, this is what I want to do. What cue can I use to try to do it? And then away you go. So that's going to be the theme for today. I've got this in my pocket. I need to tuck it in because I did knock it out once and that was strange. And let's see how we go. All right. Sort of happy enough with that as a, I don't know, I guess you could call it a bit of a loosener, to be honest. Probably shouldn't be bowling looseners, so to speak, but yeah, look, first ball, one on the offside, that's a good start. Quite slow, but we won't talk about that. Oh, that's swinging way down leg. Damn it. So, already a little bit wayward. I think the first ball I bowled was just not really thinking about anything technical, and sort of powder puffed it up outside the off stump. It's not terrible, but that one sort of put a bit more into how I want to load myself up and just pushed it down leg. So what I want to do here, I'm not going to think too much about technique, but I do want to be feeling this nice coming in to get this kind of like pre-rotated position. That's how I can sort of describe it, but it's not what I'm thinking as I'm running through the bowl. I've got a feeling that I've sort of practiced that I can sort of lean into, but I'm really looking at trying to get my energy going towards that off stump, finishing my action. That's where I'm going to hit my my outside off. And so what I'm trying to do is sort of put it 4th, 5th stump, get the batsman kind of moving their head into it and playing it hopefully on the splice or something like that. Oh, that's wide. So that was an interesting one. As I was running in, I almost felt like I just lost trust a little bit. Strange one. One of the things I was thinking before I came down was that fast bowlers usually have 2 cues that go through their mind. First one's one they set up at the start. The second one's what sometimes happens when they're running in, where their mind might start to twist them, bend them, put something else in their mind. That's when things like doubt and stuff can sort of start to creep in, and you might start thinking about something else. You might start with the right intentions, but then depending on what sort of headspace you're in, your mind can work your way out of it and into something else. And I definitely felt that there. So need to be conscious of that. And just, yeah, same thing. Sort of outside offish. Sort of feel my fingers sort of rolling down the side of it a little bit. Haven't done nearly as much bowling as I sort of originally intended to over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But it's just so goddamn cold here. And having a couple, like trying to return yourself back into some bowling, the most ideal conditions to be freezing and then trying to get the body warm to bowl, but then you are getting quite cold, and someone who's had a history of back issues, it's not a comfortable sort of position to be in. But we don't want to make too many excuses. We're here now, and 2 more balls for this over. So that one's just going to be too wide. He's not the start I was hoping for. But this is why we're here. Give ourselves a nice little testy challenge. See how we go. One more. Same thing, outside off. Oh. That one sort of veered back inwards. Probably a bit too full as well if you were, say, wanting to bowl a ball like that but I wasn't. So I think all I'm doing here is just reminding myself of some of the technical things I've been working on and how they play out skillfully in what I try to do. So this is definitely where I've still got plenty of work to do, but I've only sort of come back to bowling after a year and a half or so off a couple months ago. It's probably my 5th something bowling session, so it's nice to kind of slowly work my way back into it. Over one down. So so still a little bit down leg, but sort of a bit more energy on that one. Just now trying to feel a bit of that nice kind of fluidity, that nice kind of rotation in the action, and we'll sort of see where we go. I might have a visitor coming across now, which could be interesting. Too straight, but feeling a bit better in the action, which is nice. I think those ones there, like that line I like. I just really like to be moving it away. It's 2 balls down in this over. Now 4 to go. Probably a bit too full, but I don't mind that. I think just from an energy perspective, how it felt. I felt my energy going on a line, kind of like that. Completed the action. Probably meant that I pushed a little bit that way, but I'm sort of happy enough with that. 3 more. Still on that straight line. It's interesting. I seem to be quite good with this kind of almost it's over middle, over off stump line. And then when I come through and kind of finish the action, I'll feel the release being a little bit different. I'm sort of bowling at 6 stump maybe. That'll tell me better. Then kind of moving away. So I need that in the middle. 2 more, I think. Oh no. So I think what's happened there is more energy in, fallen over touch. Good mate. And then kind of pushed it a little bit. One of my habits, which is always something that I'm aware of. So just feeling myself through a bit of a skill sort of thing. No, mate, no worries at all. Good to see you, mate. All right. I want the off stump line swinging away. Not necessarily a ball that my release point lends nicely to, but is what we're sort of working on. I swung even more. That's not too bad. I think I just need to make sure I'm staying nice and tall and get some energy behind it. 1 more. Yeah, nice weighted ball for some front arm stuff. Yeah, perfect. That's not too bad. All right, well, not a bad adjustment, I think. Better than the first couple that I bowled. It'll be a good reminder that you should always bowl 2 overs before you start a match. I sort of went into it a little bit cold, saved myself more bowling like this than say warming myself up, but that's good. Yeah, this thing is really nice though. This piece of software sort of tracks the ball as it comes out, so it gives me a bit more of I guess instead of me trying to, you know, judge the outcome. Plus it records each ball, so it's nice to kind of go back through it a bit quicker. It's full track AI. So they've, not sure how long they've been around, but it's essentially something to like rival Hawkeye, you might say. Have like Hawkeye in your pocket. And I was sort of saying like Hawkeye costs about 60 grand per test or something like that. It was 60 grand for something. I'm like, insane. I'm getting hot now. I forgot to put a shirt on. I must have been doing something at home, and I was like rushing around doing a couple of things at once, which I don't know, it's not possible. And I put the jumper on thinking I'd get ready to leave without doing that. Yeah.
Is that your iPad thing?
Yeah.
You're filming in there also.
Yeah, so that's where I've got the mic attached to,
Yeah.
and then this one's tracking the balls. That one sort of tracks the side on one, so it gives me a little something to kind of look back through. But I sort of turned it into like a little YouTube series.
All right.
So I had time, and I do coach online anyway, so this was sort of something to kind of share some thoughts as it goes.
So how many subscribers do you have already?
I've probably got 3,400 or something, but they've sort of built up over time. Like I remember putting out, I screen recorded myself writing on my iPad about the run up maybe 3 years ago, going through I think 3 different ways you can approach the run up. And I've just sort of thought about different things to do. And I thought, why not film a masterclass kind of thing? Like the nets here are so perfect for it that I have them all to myself. I have like 3 lanes. There's plenty of space for me to put the side on camera, but normally you wouldn't be able to do that.
Exactly, yeah. True.
So yeah, it's been really cool.
Pretty good.
Now I thought I'll test out my skills a little bit because I really haven't bowled much, maybe a year and a half or something, just given I've been sort of bouncing back and forth in winters.
Yeah.
And I've done a little bit of bowling here, but not much. So I thought, well, why don't I go through a bit of a skill sort of thing and just find out where I'm missing, right?
Right.
So now I'm going to a left-hander, which could be interesting. Whoa. So I think this is definitely going to be curious now, because I definitely need to make sure I'm not opening up too early that I end up pushing the ball down to kind of keep myself in a bit more compact so I can get myself with the energy behind and then get the seam up. Yeah, that's always been my issue, hence what I'm having a play problem solving. Oh. That's good. One end to the other end. Now just got to find that nice middle ground. But this is nice to sort of have a play going with the wicket. Yeah, I've got some, I can't do that because then I'll just end up pushing myself out even more. So what I've sort of, it's all this, like this timing of what I do here, and then the rest just sort of compensates accordingly. Mm-hmm. So I need to keep myself up. I need to get that right first, but make sure I don't. Similar to batting, like I can't be getting there. So if you apply that to bowling, I can't be doing the same thing because the rest is just going to be an outcome. But it's interesting. Usually I wouldn't be trying to focus on a skill and this, but this is kind of the cool part of testing myself out in under pressure problem solving. Oh. Not too bad. Still feel like I'm going to be that sort of balancing act of how I can get my energy going through. The more energy I put in, I definitely feel like I'm going to end up falling into my floor more. So it'll be kind of making sure I don't push myself too hard and put that energy into the wrong area. That's 3. 2 more. I'll run up straight towards my target. Oh. No, opening up too early. That's all right. I have a feeling of what that feels like. It's just taking that, bringing it back some more. Yeah, I think it's that. Like that there is what is like what I guess is possible. It's going, I don't want just that and then ended up sort of tailing it away. I want this, and then I want to be able to get maybe the right side forward. But, you know, sort of problem solving the way through. Like I did notice bowling to the right hander. You know, like I can get a ball from say where I'm running in and going. I can get a ball going, say, over off stump, middle stump, or it's sort of starting on, say, fifth, sixth stump going away. So this is where my alignment. Oh. It's going to take some getting used to. All right. That's 3. Might go one more to a left-hander. But I think also with my legs, I was noticing when I was doing some skills work a while back, when I was putting a bit more work into this, all of this was better. I'm not really putting as much thought into that now. And I think that maybe being a bit more like there, it does lend myself to being a little bit more here. So I think I'll probably bring myself back when I do some more technique and skills work and focus ground up on the legs, trying to get that a bit better. But yeah.
Front on, where is that? When you're
Yeah. I'll be curious to look at that one. Just from an alignment point of view. They're nice balls. Right, so we had a minor delay there as I was just having a good chat with another coach who's just come down to the Netherlands. And yeah, that was nice and interesting. A couple of good thoughts there that it's always nice to talk cricket. But so I bowled about 3 overs so far. I was going to go through and bowl one more to a left-hander and just kind of like work my way through what I'm experiencing to give myself a bit more to put back into my sort of training plan. I mean, given that I've had a break, I may as well share some thoughts, but obviously it's definitely not where I'd like it to be, but I haven't bowled in maybe 2 or 3 weeks properly like this. So you definitely can't expect to just rock up into something and then go, bam, look, it's looking great. I definitely think you can go into it believing you can do that, but, you know, in the outcomes, like I can control those. So I'm not going to waste my time stressing myself out about that. But I definitely did like the way that some of the balls really felt. So this is something that I'm really trying to take and absorb into how it goes through, just to like take this feeling, really enjoy this experience as I'm starting to, you know, identify what will be my technical, what will be my skills sessions, while I'm also working myself back to hopefully playing some cricket in about a month or 2 back in Australia. So let's go again. So yeah, sort of nicely over middle stump, back of a length, probably hopefully coming into the body here somewhere, and just kind of having a bit of a play with them, you might say. I'm actually curious to see how it looks from side on. I'm pretty sure I'll probably mostly here, but we'll have a look. So. Oh, full and wide, falling away a lot. Definitely put more energy into that one, and then I can sort of see what happens when I do. So something to continuously be conscious of. Rightio. A nice ball swinging away. mean, that ball's there. It's probably my, you might say, natural skill set. Swinging away to a left-hander. Can stay nice and tall, probably on quite a nice line. Probably not as much the energy behind the ball as I'd like. But look, that's a ball I don't want to lose. I just want to also be able to get one where I can get behind the ball and really drive it in the wicket, which I might try now actually. Try and really get behind it. Oh. Okay, so that's nice. Like, if you compare those two balls, you've got a nice one, kind of a full length, you know, coming across, hopefully challenging the edge, swinging away to a left-hander. That one more back of a length, hitting a wicket, hopefully coming through here, challenging an edge. That one, we felt a bit nicer in the technique. So yeah, this is what I'm sort of looking for. A bit of a combination of both there. But I can't really be bowling there. That's too much in the hitting area. Whack. Away you go. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's over, but we'll bowl one more just for good measure. You know, the energy behind the ball. Actually, let's even swing one back in. Nope. Thought so. I didn't think so, but damn. Well, frustrating, but it happens. All right, so I've got some work to do, that's for sure. I might have a look at the rear footage at the end of this as I'm, editing it, or Shafay's editing it, and have a look at what could be feeding into this outswinger where there's something going on. Like, as I come here, like I'm too early when I get behind the ball. My line is starting, outside leg and keep going. Same thing with the right-hander, For me, I'm not getting myself in this nicely aligned position here where I release the ball and get behind it. I'm able to get that ball going. Although, I think I might have an idea. Let's have a look. Huh. It didn't swing, but the line was straighter. So, watching some footage of myself and just remembering it then, like I do have this, sometimes I come through and I really want to rotate around myself too much. And so I stop going in this nice kind of straight line where then I can get behind the straight line towards the target. I might be coming here, there. Hence the line starts a bit wider and swings away. So just some simple alignment stuff that you can set some constraints up for. But that was just a thought that I thought was sort of worthy to share. Doing these masterclasses, people watching along might think there's a lot of analysis that goes into these, but that is kind of the point. If I'm trying to give thoughts, I'm trying to give context, I'm trying to give the people watching this something to continuously get them thinking as I'm sort of going through the processes, that is sort of the choice. But if I'm playing, if I'm playing during a game, I'm definitely not sitting there trying to problem solve in this sort of detail. But hopefully for you guys that are watching, this gives you some cool insights and helps you guys with what you're doing. But I think it's worthwhile saying this because, I wouldn't expect you to try to analyze yourself every single ball, come up with a different coaching solution. Not that that's what I'm doing, but I want to make sure that you don't sort of take that out of it. So yeah, look, that was some stuff here. Now I'm going to do is go around the wicket, ball to a lefty. it's swinging nicely. That one's just out there. Had a look. No, thinking about it. A bit too wide, to be honest, so might need to watch the margins. Look, I think for me personally, bowling around the wicket to a left-hander, given my natural kind of release point, is always a little bit exciting, because similar to how Stuart Broad bowled David Warner in that Ashes series where Warner really struggled, like, you just always feel like you're in the game with something because you've got the angle in, so they feel like they have to kind of touch it, but you might take it away, there could be some seam there, so it just feels dangerous. You know, it feels like in this moment, in this experience that I'm having, like, something could happen every ball. So I think for me, like, I want to make sure that I keep myself, I've got my energy really nicely going towards target, and let's see if I can keep my wrists, you might say how I would naturally get it behind the ball, so it might ever so slightly come out, which is ideal, and not this, you know, rolling down the side of it. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that there is just, you know, as good a ball as I could probably hope for. We're angling it middle of the leg, swinging over to off, like, it's just really nice. I wish I could do that with an outswinger around over the wicket. Oh, I got him. Well, a touch too full though, like I wasn't aiming there. So, even knew the stumps, well, yeah, we don't claim that. If it hits top off, then we can sort of claim it a bit. But I think one thing we find as well, bowling on a hard wicket, like the natural lengths are probably going to go a bit higher than what you'd expect on turf, and that's okay. So that one's okay. Hit off stump. Take that. I think one thing I felt reflecting on those two balls is kind of more placing it. So I know for me that when I kind of look to place the ball, it's always fuller. One of my little ways that it just happens to me to bowl fuller. So if I try to really hit the wicket now I think you'll see the length come back. Yeah. So this is, I don't know, that in a sense is the nutshell of what these kinds of sessions are about. You know, having a chance to experience what you're doing with a tactical outcome, applying your skills, seeing how much you can sort of have some sort of control over them, and then identifying the direction of your, you know, I guess block of training, so to speak. So if you're going to set things up and go, well, I want to have a skill session here, or is your skill session just going to be something generic, like bowl to off or something, or have you figured out where in your skills need specific work? So for me, you could see bowling to a right-hander, I can bowl over middle stumps or off stump, I can bowl fifth stick stumps swinging away, but I can't get that ball coming at the stumps moving away. That's what I'm going to drill. Yeah, so that's where I know that my training is going to be more intentional, and it's going to then give me, I guess, a greater yield for the time that I put into it. Some fancy words. I surprise myself sometimes. Oh, we'll go Yorker. Oh, oh, ah, damn it. But look, this is the difference between, you know, maybe winning and losing a match. I've decided halfway through that's going to be a Yorker. I've missed it by the tiniest of margins. This is the skill set that I want to be able to have. Now, you never know when you're playing a T20 or something like that. You go, something changes in what the batsman's doing. You might need to bowl a Yorker, or you might just tell yourself that, right, it's Yorker time now, and how well can you go through about executing? So, yeah, I'm disappointed, missed by so tiny, so small. Well guys, that's the session done. The main camera did cut out on me towards the last little bit, which was a little bit frustrating, but that happens. I did want to say that reflecting back from the session and thinking about what could be the issues with, say, bowling to a right-hander, I was discussing with the other guy who was here before about ground up the foundation. So when I was getting myself in a nice aligned position here, the leg a bit straighter, knees close together, and then not, well, as a consequence of that, was just moving in straight lines, felt myself coming towards my target more. That was when I noticed that I was hitting a more consistent off stump to full stump line. And from there, we can start to look at moving it away. And just going back to that, I thought everything sort of started to tidy up nicely. The first ball I bowled was middle stump, sort of swinging away, clipped off stump, probably a bit too full, but that happens. But I guess that was a good thing to sort of to look back on and go, okay, you know, I can do it, and this is how I can do it. That's where my technical work is going to be primarily focused. And I think then thinking about the skill work, it'll be, I guess, fine tuning this and then putting some skill constraints down the wicket to then sort of get that ball being able to move away from the right hander and hopefully challenge the edge. I was very happy bowling around the wicket to the left hander. I think that was just, it clicked really nicely, which was cool. And yeah, look, I think that was kind of a bit of fun. Hopefully there's some insights there for you guys to sort of take away and apply into your own training. If you do guys have any questions, you know, feel free to drop them below, especially if you guys have any queries about the way that I'm approaching things. Like, you know, as I'm sort of going through it, there's a thought process that I'm delivering, but you might have some questions based on that for how I might approach different things so that you can get a bit more of an understanding of sort of what I'm going through. So always happy to, you know, answer any questions in the comments below. Please let me know what you learned. That's really great for me. And yeah, look, I hope you guys have a bloody stellar day. I did actually do a bit of topless bowling at the end. Almost felt like I had to after talking it up the star, but given that camera wasn't working, it'll only be sold on footage. But gosh, that's one for the books. Well, enjoy your day.